Getting ready to go live. Just about 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to go live in a couple minutes talking about how to repurpose your content for social media. All right. I'm going to get started in about 1 minute. Just thought I'd hop in here a little bit early. Hope everybody's week is going well. All right. It's 1 o'clock. Thank you for stopping by. Today's webinar, live stream, whatever you want to call it, is going to be on how to repurpose your content for social media and make sure that you are found and that your brand has awareness on the social media platforms. This way you can increase your return on investment for social media as well as have some conversions, make some money, and stay in business. Right now, social media is more important than ever because a lot of people are working from home and you may need to attract business or even just retain your customers, which is something that's very important. And recycling and repurposing content on social media has been a very popular topic in the last few weeks and last few months. Thought I'd put something together to help everyone out. My name is Hank Hoffmeyer. I am the Senior Manager of Client Solutions for J2 Global. We have brands like iContact, Campaigner, Communicator, SMTP. We also have other brands that we work with like eFax, PC Magazine, Mashable, IGN, Ziff Davis, and more. I've been dubbed the digital marketing infotainer because I like to make marketing fun and successful. And today we are going to learn a few things. A couple weeks ago, I drank some water out of a bottle. It was a plastic bottle, and I held it in my hand, and I was thinking, what should I do with this bottle? Should I recycle it? Should I repurpose it? Don't know really what to do. See, if my wife had her way, she'd make a micro greenhouse out of it and put some seeds in it and let it germinate and then plant it in her garden. And my son, he's motivated by his chores, which part of it is taking out the recycling. And what he would do is take the recycling, bring it out to the recycling bin, and hopefully get some kind of allowance for that. So he would probably push me to recycle it, and my wife would push me to repurpose it. I'll talk to you later about what happened to that bottle, but today we're here to talk about repurposing and recycling. And I had a tough choice, and a lot of marketers have tough choices when it comes to doing what they need to do on social media, right? Do you use pay-per-click? Do you use print media? Do you use television advertising and then social media, or maybe even email marketing? What is it that you need to be using, and how do you keep fresh content on all these channels, right? You might think that you need to create fresh content all the time to put on all these channels, which is not necessarily the fact. Jim Rohn says, what is easy to do is also not easy to do. Isn't that the truth? And to me, that's a fact. A lot of times you go into things and say, hey, I'm just going to go post this social media content. I'm going to go and create this email and send this email out. And what you find is that it's not as easy as you thought. You have to go back and really make corrections to the design, maybe the fonts, maybe the branding or coloring. It's not always as easy as you think it is to do almost anything. There are some things that are easy in life. And when you look at this slide and you look at the letters on this slide, you're probably thinking something else other than repurpose and recycling, right? Maybe taking a trip, a vacation. I actually was supposed to be on a cruise 4 weeks ago in the Caribbean, getting my R&R and visiting Stingray City and Jamaica and seeing some beautiful islands and swimming in the ocean. But you know what? That didn't happen with what's going on with all this social distancing. But really, we can all sit here and think about what vacations we might want to take right now, like visiting Lost Living Room or Isla de Kitchen, right? Those are about the extent of our vacations right now. But if we have to get back to reality, when is the last time you actually had a good amount of rest and or relaxation, or both together? It's probably been a while, right? We're probably doing a lot of this right now. A lot of us are probably actually sitting in front of our computer on Zoom or a webinar like this, and that's kind of our life right now, especially as a marketer. And it's hard to stay productive and make sure that you're getting done what you need to get done. Maybe it's even hard to stay organized. For me, working at home is not anything new, but it is a change. It's different. I'm changing my media consumption habits as far as podcasts and reading articles. I'm definitely producing more, but I'm not consuming as much as I'm producing. I think there's definitely a different weight scale there, whereas usually it's the opposite. I love to be out and about. I'd love to be in a coffee shop right now where I can actually be doing some networking, where I can actually meet with folks, talk to them. And more importantly, I like to create content on the go. Maybe it is at a coffee shop and I can sit there and put my headphones on, listen to some music, pound out some content, right? And it just makes the day flow easier. Or now you feel like you're at home and you have nowhere to go. You're kind of trapped. And maybe that makes it a little bit harder. And for me, 30 years of experience in sales and marketing through owning my own business, working with J2 Global, and then also being on the board for the American Marketing Association, helping them promote their brand. I know how difficult it is to always be consistently creating fresh new content to put out on different channels. And that can be video, blogs, social media posts, images, all these different things that we need to be doing. We just need to make sure we're as efficient as possible. I grew up when the internet was provided through dial-up modems, and it was difficult and slow and painful to connect to the internet. And for me, social media was actually sitting somewhere and reading a newspaper, being social with others, and getting my content through the paper. I actually enjoyed that. It allowed me to slow down a little bit and enjoy my day and enjoy just sitting back, relaxing, and reading a paper. But as marketers, we know we have to keep up with those algorithms. These algorithms are pushing our content down and making it not seen by anyone, right? It's difficult. You always need to be creating content. So don't think of rest and relaxation. Think of recycle and repurpose. There's still something I need to figure out with that bottle, and I'll tell you what I did with that, but it should be easy. You should be able to figure that out. And I should have been able to say, this is what I'm going to do with this bottle right away. But to me, it was a choice and a decision, but it was only one of two items that I had to choose from. Remember, what is easy to do is also not easy to do. But I say, let's make it as easy as possible. Let's talk about how to repurpose some of your content. Use it up, wear it out, make it do or do without. Love this quote. What you need to do is just make sure that you're taking your content and putting it out there. Or if it's something that's not relevant right now, it's not evergreen, something that's always good. Maybe you don't repurpose that, or you don't put it on different channels. Just make sure you're looking at your content, make sure you can repurpose it for different channels, because maybe what's good on Facebook is not good on TikTok, right? Let's use whatever we have now, stop making more of it, take what we gather and make, whether it's a car part, computer cases, or anything that we use. I want to add social media content to this quote because we should be repurposing our social media content. One thing that I hear all the time is you need to create unique content for every platform you're posting on. That's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Pinterest. All has to be unique and specific for that content. I don't know about you, but I don't have time to sit there and create something unique for every single platform. Yes, maybe what you want to do is format it differently and make some of the content shorter for, say, Twitter or for TikTok because you have to. But I want you to know that you're empowered to take this content and put it out everywhere, because what's going to happen is people are not going to unfollow you, or they're not going to give you nasty grams saying, hey, I saw what you put on Facebook, on Instagram, and I don't like that. To me, I actually think it's strengthening that content more. If they see it on one platform, then they see it again later in their mind. It just reinforces what your message is, whether it's a sale, inspiration, information, education. If they see it more than one time, they are going to remember it more, solidify it in their brain. Let's talk about video a little bit, because video is very important. And if you're not doing video right now, you should know that according to entrepreneur.com, right now this year, 80% of marketing is video. That means so many more brands, so many more entrepreneurs and influencers are using video. Make sure you're using video and produce it as often as you can. It doesn't have to be the best studio quality. Just do what you can. People will understand. The most important thing is audio. It's probably the best thing you need to worry about. And of course, the visuals a little bit, but people can understand if you don't have the best 4K camera out there. It's important to note that 95% of that content and video will be retained versus 10% in other mechanisms like through text on social media posts. What you want to do is just make sure that you're putting out video and know that by doing that, people will retain more of the information that they're seeing and hearing through their videos, which makes video a very powerful platform for marketing. When you use videos, you might want to use subtitles or captions, which are the words and phrases at the bottom of your videos. For shorter videos that are 1 to 5 minutes in length, it'd be great to add those. Now, if it's longer, a webinar like this, it probably is not worth putting captions or subtitles on it because people are actually going to listen to it and turn it on. Right now, a lot of folks are scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and other platforms and Facebook as well, and they might have their sound off because they're multitasking. They're watching TV, watching Netflix or something, and they're scrolling through, and they don't have the sound on because they don't want to be bothered by the sound. And if you have a video and you're talking, and that's the only message there, they're not going to get your message. Whereas if you added subtitles and captions, you can get the message across without even having the video turned on. Some of the tools I use for this, and depending on what you use or maybe want to use, would be like Camtasia, which actually has like screen grab capability where you can record your screen, you can narrate, and you can also put effects onto your videos. Final Cut Pro, I mostly use that for like videos for vacations and some more powerful theatrical types of videos that I want to create. Adobe Premiere is similar to Final Cut Pro. DaVinci Resolve has a free version. It's basically like Adobe and Final Cut. And then iMovie comes on all iOS devices, easy to use, it's free. LumaFusion is one of the best video editing apps on the iPad. I have it on my iPad Pro and I love it. I would say check that out if you have a large screen iPad. You can use it on the iPhone. It's just a little bit harder to use, but I definitely recommend using that. If you want some tips, hit me up on that. I'd be glad to talk to you about those. And then last is a new type of platform called Scribe. It's on the web. Search for Scribe. What they do is allow you to upload videos and they automatically generate these captions or subtitles for you and allow you to format them and put them on your video along with the title. This is an awesome platform for Instagram where you can create square videos with a title at the top and then your subtitles at the bottom. Highly recommend that service. There is a cost per year. I think it's like $60. Well worth it, especially if you're a marketer. All right, let's talk about some content ideas and what you need to be doing, because you need to have a strategy, you need to have a plan, then you need to execute on that, because all this content you're putting out there is going to help you be found, and hopefully people will engage with your content and you'll beat those algorithms, and hopefully you won't go crazy creating all this content and putting it out there thinking that you have to have fresh new content for every single channel, right? Let's say you do a video, because I just encourage you to create a video. What you could do is create your video. And then what you're going to do is get a transcript of this video. Now, you can pay services online. There's iOS apps that do it, or you can use Scribe and you can still download the transcript there. So you'll have a transcript, which is all the words that are spoken in your video. You can turn that into a blog post. You massage it a little bit, make sure it's got the right grammar, whatever messaging you want to say. You put it into a blog post. And then you also take the transcript or the blog post and you cut it up and put it into smaller social media posts that can go out here, or it can be quotes from the video or the blog post. So many ways that you can take a video and not only just have it in video format with subtitles and captions, you're going to have the transcript, which you can create blog posts, put information on your website, create pinnable items on Pinterest, quotes. All these things help you be found, not only through just having content in your feed, but also through SEO purposes or search engines. Let's just say you create that video. What you can do is link to the video and put some text in there about what the video's message is. On Instagram, you can add it to your Instagram stories, and then also to IGTV, which would be cool. Use the quotes like I mentioned on Pinterest, and then on Twitter, you're just going to link to the video and have people watch that, and maybe later share some quotes from there as well, and link back to the blog post that you created from the video. Create a short form of the video, chop it up a little bit, put it on Snapchat as well as TikTok. You'll just have to reformat the aspect ratio for TikTok to make sure it fits there. All right, now let's say you started with a blog. So you have a blog, right? And you're producing content once a week, once a month. You should be repurposing your blog content. And what I would say is create your blog, write it. It's awesome. Let's say it's 800 words. From there, what you can do is use that as a transcript, or you can edit it to be a transcript for a video and use that for your video, which would be really cool. And if you don't want to get in front of the camera, use PowerPoint slides and talk over those like I am here, but you could see me, but maybe I just show a PowerPoint slide only that reinforces whatever message you're trying to get across. And again, from there, from your blog, take quotes and send out quotables to different social media channels to promote that. And on the ones that you can, add links to the blog article so people can go read that, or to the video, or both. And then you can create social posts with this content that you have. And it could be just snippets, it could be quotes, it could be images from your blog post. So basically, by having a blog post, don't let it just live on your blog. Make sure it's promoted in other areas and you're cutting it up, dissecting it, and doing more and more with it. Blog posts, you can definitely post that on Facebook. You can do something with audio or a video on Instagram, and that can be in stories, the main feed, an IGTV session. You can do that. Put those quotes and pictures on Pinterest, Twitter, share a link out to that blog post to get more traction, get more people coming back to look at it, create a short video for Snapchat, and again, reformat it for TikTok. This is a pretty cool tool. It's called Lumen 5. What this allows me to do is take a blog post or anything in text and add it to videos as a background, or images, moving images too. You can use your own or ones they provide. Here's one I created with their free version. Just want to show you that real quick. Lumen 5, folks, it is a game changer. I definitely highly recommend using it. All right, so when we talk about creating content, is it quality over quantity, or is it quantity over quality? To me, I feel like it's a mix of both. You definitely have to have the quantity, which is why you're repurposing, and you want to have the quality because you don't want to bore people to death or have them say you have so many errors in your content. I would say you have to have a healthy mix. You want to produce a lot of content, but you also want it to be quality. Another thing I do is with my book, The ABCs of the Customer Journey, Beginner's Guide to Automation, Branding, and Customer Service, I take a lot of quotables. And what I'll do is I'll take snippets from my book, just copy them and paste them into Canva, which is another cool app. I'll review that in a few moments, but I take that and put it into Canva and create these cool looking infographics or just little shareables here. And I send those out on social media. And for some platforms, I link back to Amazon to get my book. And on Instagram, I post back to my bio, which I use Linktree, which is a cool way to have multiple links in your bio. It's like a little mini website that allows you to have multiple links. Definitely say try that out. Don't forget, even though email marketing is not really a social media network, I think it's a very powerful mechanism for you to share your content out there and also drive people back to your social media channels. For me, it's one of the only platforms that allows you to send a message out in mass and still have a personal relationship with everyone you're sending to through the use of personalization in your emails. And also, it's 40% more effective than other platforms like social media. You might want to check that out if you're not currently using email marketing, and if you are, use it a little bit more. 61% of American workers say email marketing is important to doing their job, and 83% of B2B marketers use email marketing for their business. If you are a B2B company, you might want to take a look at that stat and realize how powerful email marketing is. So remember, there's numerous places that you can share your content. Don't let it live in a silo. If you have something great to say, make sure it gets shared out on a bunch of different platforms. Just tweak it a little bit for each one. And just remember, it's not a sin to repurpose your content. Don't listen to these companies that have a marketing team of 50 or more that can create content specifically for each channel, because maybe you're a team of 1 or a team of 5. You need to be able to get content out there to stay relevant. And like I said, I don't think anyone's going to yell at you for having similar content in different channels. So get it out there, start getting engagement, and make sure you know there's historical value to the content that you have. Once you post something, it's always going to live in your feed and people can consume it later on. Well, Snapchat kind of goes away, but make sure you're putting a lot of content out there and you're putting it on different channels that make sense for your business. Maybe Snapchat and TikTok don't make sense for your business right now, but TikTok is a really fast growing platform that you might want to think about how you can use that. And that leads me to recycling your content, which is something else you need to be doing. What you should be doing is make sure you're remixing your content so that you get new hits out of old ones, or maybe it's a remix and people remember through nostalgia how great something was or something you did in the past, and then you put a new spin on it. It's a great thing to do. This saves you time, and it also helps you increase your ROI, get you more of that money back. And by recycling content, you really either just need to tweak it or just reuse it as it is. And it creates a way for you to process your content a lot faster and just get it out there because it's already been done once, but you're using it multiple times. With recycling, you want to do it often. You want to make sure you're looking back and saying, hey, what can I use again? And make sure that, a lot of what you share is evergreen or pertinent to the moment. In other words, you don't want to share something about an event that happened 3 years ago that's never going to happen again because nobody's going to care about that. But it could be pictures from there, and you could say you were remembering about this and you're thinking about running another event similar, something like that. So you want to have content and start thinking about creating content that's evergreen moving forward, something that's going to stay relevant for a long period of time that allows you to keep producing it, then recycling it, and having it for the future. You can always use older content and just say hashtag Throwback Thursday. Hey, we remember when type of post, and use images or other types of media. Maybe it's a video, and just use that hashtag or tell people that it is something from the past that you wanted to share. You also want to make sure that you are effectively organizing your content, and that can be using folders or having a server or using Box or Dropbox, something like that. What you want to do is make sure that your naming conventions make sense. It could be by year, then month, and then what type of content, like videos, and then categories. Just make sure you're putting dates on there and you're easily able to label them so you can find them later. So I wonder where that video from 3 years ago that was really awesome that's still relevant now is. How are you going to find it if it's just like img_21.mov? You probably won't remember that unless you mark it down on your calendar. You can also use tools like Meet Edgar, which will automatically repost that evergreen content for you. And there's other services like that too. If that's something that you want to do, is create an evergreen tweet. Maybe it's a quote. What you can do is create it once and then schedule it to go out over periods of time, which is pretty cool. You also want to make sure that you're using influencers to help you get your content out. Now, some of them will require money or a lot of money, and other ones right now with what's going on with social distancing, they might be a little bit more flexible and willing to work with you, and they can share some of your old content, or you give them content that they can recycle and repurpose to help you get in front of more people. There's something called newsjacking, hijacking something that's popular in the news, and what you can do is create content around that, or say, hey, I remember this post from 2 months ago that's relevant to this topic now. Pull that out and use that and jump on the bandwagon for that popular topic. And what you also want to do is ride those trends that are going around by commenting on relevant hashtags that like social distancing. And if you have relevant content linking back to that, or say, hey, check out my YouTube channel, I spoke about this last week. It's a great way to recycle some of your content. Recycling is not only for household items, it works great for social media. And that's why I'm talking to you about this. And I just told you how you should be doing it, but I just told you what you should be doing, right? A little bit of the how, but I didn't really tell you a lot of how to do it. Do you hate me right now? I hope not, because I love you. And because you're here today, I want to talk to you a little bit more about how you can be recycling your content. And we'll discuss some tools to help you along the way. Here's a video from me speaking at PubCon Austin a few months ago. And what I did was I shared with the audience a video from John Thies at Email on Acid. And he talked to us about legislation CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act, which really hits email marketers as far as what the data they need to collect and how they collect it, and also what they need to do with data they're collecting from email subscribers. And I wanted to make sure I shared that not only at the conference, I wanted to share it other ways. And one way I wanted to do that was through IGTV, because it was a pretty long video. Anything, I think, over 60 seconds you have to share on IGTV. What I did was I created the video and reformatted it so that it looked pretty in Instagram TV, by putting it in the middle and having a form here that allows you to actually create that. Now, what I want you to do is go to henkhoffmeyer.com/blog. My most recent blog as of today is the article on how to actually do this using Keynote. You can use PowerPoint, it's a little bit harder, but you can use Keynote on an iPad, on your computer, or wherever, to take a video that's in wide format like you see on the left and turn it into something that's great looking on the right. I also like to use different tools to help me schedule social media and create graphics or repurpose graphics. Hootsuite and Buffer are great if you just want to quickly go in and schedule posts to go out. And you can schedule a tweet to go out this week, and then 3 weeks from now it could be the same tweet. Loomly is if you have a team and you want your team to collaborate through comments and also the approval process. And then you can also add other customers to that in some of their paid plans as well. Loomly is pretty cool because they give you previews for each individual platform. You can customize it for each platform. And it's something I've been using for a while. In Canva, what I like to do is I'll create something, especially for my blog posts, and I have an example coming up. I'll create my thumbnail for my blog post, and then I keep reusing the same one, bringing it up and just changing some of the text in there. And what you can do is put your styling in there, your brand colors, create something once, and then edit it every now and then. I'll give you some examples in a few moments. And then LumaFusion, I can't live without that. There's folks that are actually creating plugins and project files that actually help you with transitions, titles, lower thirds, and it's a quick way to go in and edit different videos. Let's say you edit one for YouTube and then you want to turn around and repurpose it for TikTok. It's kind of easy to do with LumaFusion. Look into that if you've never heard of it. Here's an example from Canva. It's just like kind of a quotable I put together. Anytime I think of anything cool or I want to quote somebody else, I'll use this. And the only thing I'm really changing is the text in the middle. And here's the example from my podcast, where this is my thumbnail image that I put on my blog and then also use on social media to share an episode after it's been produced. But before it's produced, I might create something like this in Canva, where I'm going to actually promote this person that's on my show, the guest that's on my show, and it allows me to give them some recognition as well as promote the episode coming out, so people are interested in listening to the episode. All right, so if you have a podcast or you have some kind of audio content, we can use is a platform called Wave, and there's another one I have on the next slide, where you could take that audio and turn it into what's called a wavegram. Right here, what it does is you could put a picture or a video behind it, and it's got the waveform. Kind of looks like, when they're talking, it goes up and down. And then you could share that as a video on YouTube and on IGTV, which is what I do. All my podcast episodes go onto IGTV as long as they're not really, really long, like almost an hour or something like that. I use Headliner app for that. This is similar to the other one, but I like this one a little bit better. It just has some more customizations I like and allows you to automate it. And every Tuesday after my blog post is posted, my podcast is posted, it'll inform me it's ready, and then I can take it, download it, and share it on social media. Here's an app called InShot, and then another one called Scribe. I mentioned Scribe already. InShot is another iOS app that allows you to upload a video, put titles on there, and you can kind of do the captions, but they're kind of manual. I don't think it does automatic captions, but you can kind of do some paraphrasing, which is really cool. And then you can also add stickers, text, and anything else you want to it. I like it for short form items. It's really simple and easy to use. And then Scribe would be for a little bit longer, where you upload your video, format it, then you get the automatic transcriptions. And as you can see on the right, you're actually able to go in and edit that and make sure it's correct, or change it if you want to, and put punctuation in there. And then you can add the timers, whether it goes around in a box or if it's the bottom of bar, shows you the progress of the video, which is really cool. I recommend both of these, InShot and Scribe. Remember, it's important to dial up your content, but don't use dial-up internet like I did when I was younger, because it's horrible. What you want to do is have more content out there so you get more eyeballs on your content. And recycling and repurposing your content is the best way to do this, because you'll save time, you'll make more money, you'll have a better social presence on social media. So grow your business and your profits by doing some R&R. So here's what I want to encourage you to do today. If you walk away from here, what I want you to do is to remember to recycle and repurpose your content so that you get maximum exposure, and don't listen to what anybody says about needing to have separate content for every different channel. You'll be happy. It'll make me happy if this is what you remember. What I want you to do now is go to hankhoffmeyer.com/repurpose. And what I want you to do is sign up for my journal. This will allow you to stay in touch with me. I send an email out on the first of the month, every month, even if it's on New Year's Day at 6 a.m., 6:30, around there, because I want to make sure you want my journal. If you don't wake up early, I want you to look for it, because I want it to be special to you. And I include items in there about lessons I've learned that month relating to business or marketing. And also, I want to be your accountability partner. I'm putting in tips, tricks, tools that I found, like apps, like some of the ones you saw here, I might include in my journal if it's newer. Any books I've read, audiobooks, podcasts that I found interesting and insightful that might benefit you, and anything I have going on, such as events like this. I'll have that information in there. Definitely, I would appreciate it if you subscribe to my newsletter, and then you can unsubscribe at any time if for some reason it's not beneficial to you. I also want to provide you with iContact's Ultimate Subject Line Guide. We put together 501 examples of subject lines that either worked or didn't work, and we have the stats to prove that. It's broken down by industry and email type. Highly recommend downloading that, and I'm providing you a way to get it without filling out any forms. I also want to give you the slide deck so that you have the slide deck to look at and go back and see what I talked about and maybe you missed one of the tools or something. And then I want to give you a chance to connect with me on social media. And I hope you do, because then you and I can have some dialogue, and maybe my information will be valuable to you and you can teach me a thing or two. And as to what happened with some of the plastic bottles that we have, you can see we're growing some tomatoes here in our mini little greenhouses. Excited to get those planted in our raised garden beds outside, but we brought them inside and put them under these grow lights so that we can get them started off right, develop their root system. And then what we'll do with the bottles once we're done is recycle them. And the point here is you could do both. You can repurpose and recycle. Doesn't really need to be a decision, but my son probably would say he'd rather recycle it right away so that he could do his chores and possibly get that money for doing his chores. Well, that does it for me, Hank Hoffmeyer, the digital marketing infotainer. I hope I taught you how to recycle and repurpose your social media content.